Hello, viewers! So I was pleasantly surprised to see that Soul involved an element of jazz music. You know, I used to be a music major, actually. Played in a couple of jazz bands myself. You don't believe me, huh? I can't say I blame you. I mean, I do a lot of stretching of the truth in these intros. Maybe you'll believe this. Now, I'm not going to do too much work here in terms of, talking about the plot. Suffice it to say, the protagonist's name is Joe. He's from New York. Wait a second. Joe from New York, played music, New York Knicks, New York Mets fan. You know what? If this guy knows how to program in Visual Basic and he can recite chapters from Moby Dick, Disney's going to be getting a call from my lawyer. Now, I want to discuss two really interesting concepts that are explored in this film. The first one has to do with the differentiation it makes between someone's purpose in life and that person's spark, okay? Now, you've heard me on this channel talk about the importance of purpose in life, and you'll probably hear it a few more times. Usually I'll pair it with hope and say that with purpose and hope, that's the thing that's going to keep you moving forward in life. However, when I talk about purpose on my channel, I never mean that you only have one purpose in life and that's it. That's far too constraining and minimalizing of how important each human being is in terms of what they can bring to a given situation. You can find purpose anywhere in just about any given situation. If you're the only person who can support a friend through a really difficult time, that's purpose. If you're raising a kid in these really, awkward times in which we live, that's purpose. If you can withstand tremendous heartache, suffering, torture, and people making fun of you constantly, your purpose is to be a New York Knicks fan. Where are you, Charles Oakley? Oh, that's right. They threw you out of Madison Square Garden. All of these situations I've mentioned have purpose in them, but they don't need to be your only purpose. You need to create purpose out of what's in front of you, out of either great need for yourself or great need for someone else. Now, finding your spark, meaning that thing that makes you excited in a moment about life, that's something a little bit different. Sparks are not meant to be felt for very long, nor are they meant to be the sole thing that we subsist on. And they're usually tied in with purpose and work as well. Before Michael Jordan hit his first ever game-winning shot, he had to work hard in a gym with purpose. Before Einstein could develop his theories of relativity, he had to learn with purpose. And before you create your own wonderful moment of spark, you're going to have to work with purpose. However, you can't create a life that consists of just purpose and just sparks, at least not for yourself. If you try to subsist on just those two things, you're going to miss out on some great things that life has to offer. More than anything, you're going to miss out on the purpose and sparks of those you love, and you don't want to do that. Now, the second idea that I found to be really intriguing about this movie is how they sort of connect and yet separate these ideas of being in the zone, right? And then being a lost soul. So being in the zone means that you're doing something so well and experiencing it so personally that you pretty much just lose all connection with reality. I'd say that's pretty much a lost connection with reality. Now, when you're in the zone, it's really a wonderful experience, right? Because there's something about it that just feels like everything has lined up perfectly for you in the world and within you as well. Now, as a lost soul, you also experience a kind of disconnect from reality, but you're not enjoying yourself. You're just sort of chasing after something, always yearning for it, but never actually getting it. Now, we tend to think of being in the zone as a really positive thing, and certainly it can be. However, the movie makes the argument that whether it's being in the zone or being a lost soul, you're still experiencing a disconnect from reality, and too much of that can create really sort of sticky problems for you as a human being. I think oftentimes today we find ways to disconnect from reality, whether it's gaming, jumping out of airplanes, or just even reading and surfing the web. The problem is the more times you disconnect from reality and the longer you stay in that place of disconnect, the more you have the possibility of experiencing the danger of sort of staying that way, so that your reality becomes essentially your fantasy and your fantasy becomes your new reality. Now, I don't think it's too difficult for us to envision how someone could disconnect from reality so much that eventually you just cut that sort of tether to reality completely. In truth, the world can be unforgiving, harsh, treacherous, and that oftentimes pushes people toward wanting to disconnect more and more. It's going to be up to us, those of us who constantly keep one foot at least always in reality, to help other people remember that life can also be beautiful, full of laughter, and that you can make wonderful connections with people. So whether it's experiencing constant sort of being in the zone or being a lost soul, the purpose here, or the point that Soul is making, is you always want to keep one foot at least tethered to reality. And if you see someone sort of floating away from that path of reality, you want to do as much as you can to sort of maybe put a rope around their leg. That sounds harsh. It was the best metaphor I could come up with in the moment, though. A lifeline. That's it. That's a better metaphor. Throw a lifesaver out there. Not the candy. I don't think that would help. I mean like the boaty ones. You know what I mean. Google it. So what's our silver lining lesson for this film? I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Find your purpose in life. Look for it in any given situation in which you're a participant. And let your work and your purpose lead you to your moments of spark. And remember to always keep one foot firmly planted in reality. And help others keep at least one foot there as well. Now, if you don't mind me, I'm going to go spend some time with my wife. That seems to be my purpose in this moment.